Hi, this is Mahabeli from the American University in Cairo, and today I have with me Jasmina. Go ahead, Jasmina.
Hi, I'm Jasmina Najjar. I teach academic writing and technical communication at the American University of Beirut.
Go ahead, Jasmina. You have a really fun activity
And
for
yeah,
us.
so today we are going to be looking at an activity called collaborative storytelling. So let's just jump in. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen so that you can all follow along. So here we go. Amazing. So in this activity, the purpose behind it of collaborative storytelling is really to kind of like, help break the ice in class. It really also helps to promote a kind of like sense of community, and it can be really super fun. And, honestly, like as a teacher, I love reading these stories and I really get a kick out of them. And it's really useful in that, you can use it really at any point of the semester. What I usually do is I have it as an ongoing activity throughout the semester. So I tell students at the beginning, hey, this is, we're going to be doing this together. And then, I basically, let them take it from there. And it's really, I think, a very fun way of also, just encouraging students to pay attention to like little details, to kind of get into the habit of close reading as well, and thinking about logical, possible scenarios that can result based on, a set of actions and dialogues and what have you. And it also, I mean, like as somebody who teaches writing, it's a very nice way as well of kind of, getting students to try to follow a kind of unified style and voice, and it's just fun. It's an opportunity for them to, unleash their creativity and go mad. And I like that. So to prepare for this, it's actually quite easy. You just need to set up a kind of shared editable Google Doc, or any editable document, or set up a wiki within your LMS. They're available on any platform, regardless of whether you're using Moodle or anything else. And then you need to kind of just have a think about, what you want, whether you want your students to collectively as a class decide on the basic kind of prompt or plot that they're going to use as a springboard for the story, or whether you're going to use one of the kind of like random online plot generators. There are many that are available online. Another alternative is to kind of, come up with a very basic, story plot, which is relevant to the class. So maybe, if it's a science class, it could be just a simple framing of a scientist working at a research lab, and then letting the students, take it from there. Or an entrepreneur, setting up her own business, if it's a, a business class, for example.
I can totally see this as a way for students to like write up scenarios for case studies in a discipline, or
Indeed.
ethical dilemmas or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not
Indeed.
teaching writing, but you're teaching one of those other things, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or even, you're teaching anthropology. It could be about an anthropologist, conducting particular field research, so you can really bring it in, to different, I think, class contexts. And that's what's fun about this particular, collaborative storytelling exercise.
How many people per group? Do you have like pairs? Do you have the entire class?
I have the entire class because I like
Do you
the
have?
messiness. So I've got 25 students per class.
Wow. Yeah.
So it just gets very interesting. It gets really interesting. So this is why when you have like 25 people jumping in, it's really important, post preparation, to kind of make it clear what the ground rules are, and to kind of make it clear what it is that, is expected of students. For example, you need to decide, how many times per semester do you want the students to contribute to the story? For example, do you want each student to contribute 3 times throughout the semester if you're doing it on a semester level? And how much content you'd like them to contribute each time? Do you want them to contribute just a line? Do you want them to contribute a whole paragraph? Do you want them to contribute a whole page, depending on obviously the nature of the assignment and how many students you have? And then it's important to also have kind of ground rules for the students. For example, please don't delete or edit what your classmates added, just, out of etiquette, and also, make sure that they understand that they have to read what was written so far rather carefully. Make it a point that, they have total freedom to create the kind of twists and turns that they want and to move the story forward, the way that they'd like to. But whatever they add really has to make sense and seem logical, given what has come, before, given what other students have written beforehand. And that means obviously being true to the style, the genre, the plot, the characters, and, and what have you. Now, this is actually an asynchronous activity. And, as I mentioned, I mean, it's really up to you as to the duration. Do you want to run it just for a week ahead of a particular assignment? Do you want to have it throughout the semester? That's completely up to you. You could, I suppose, if you wanted, try to like jump in and have it in a class session live, but that can, I think, get really, really messy. So I personally wouldn't try, but I mean, go for it if you're brave enough. Now, obviously, you can use any, online, editable document sharing kind of platform, that enables multiple people to work on the same document. And also, you can do this if you don't want to have it in text format. You can have it using video, audio, visuals, what have you. As long as, you kind of, but in that case, you might need to figure out the order, so that, students are not, they're not going off on like bizarre tangents. You could possibly do it on Twitter using a hashtag. I haven't tried this, but it could work. You could also use Twine, for example, if you want to have an interactive, non-linear story. But then again,
can more than one person edit Twine at the same time?
You might need to create like one account and then give students turns.
Right. Okay.
And
so
also
they can pass it on to someone.
Pass it on to someone, and then again with that, I mean, you would need students to learn various other skills.
Right.
And how to use the platforms.
Right. So you need to check if that actually makes sense for your course goals, right?
Exactly. If you want to do something, improv, you can do it in a class session on Zoom.
Can I try one of those improvs with you?
If you want, yeah.
Yeah, because this I saw in a workshop about film and theater improv. And so this is for doing it orally on Zoom, but I think you can totally do it in text synchronously or asynchronously. And this can be just like a warm-up activity at the beginning of the class where not every single person participates, but maybe every class, like 5 or 6 people participate and the others are watching. And it's kind of like every person needs to start their sentence. They just have to say one sentence and they have to start their sentence with the next letter of the alphabet. So you set the scene with a particular situation, like, yes, you're in the science lab. And then I'm going to start and I say something with an A, and then you have to say something with a B, and then I have to say something with a C. So let's just do it up to D or something. So,
all right.
Okay. Are you doing the heating experiment, Jasmina?
Boring. Why would I be doing the eating experiment? Instead, I am planning to go to CERN and to investigate what's been happening at the Large Hadron Collider.
CERN, wow. Can you take me with you?
Definitely, and I think it's going to be a fabulous experience because
and this is really fun to do with kids too, because I do it with my child sometimes just when we're bored in the car. So I think this one could work for K-12 as well.
That's true. And actually a recommendation, don't do this. We're both filming this early in the morning. Do it once people have woken up.
Right. So that they can, it's actually funny because you can say really silly things. So I think part of it, and one of the things that they say with improv is it's okay to be silly. It's okay. Don't focus on looking good. Just focus on giving the other person something to say. Like, don't close the story. Another one was just you limit how many words in a sentence that each person can contribute. And that's really useful, especially like you teach writing. And we were talking recently about, limiting your word count to things like that. It's like learning how to say what you want in only 3 words or only 6 words and things like that. Another one, by the way, because you said they need to stick to genre, I saw one where each person is doing a different genre. But the story has to flow, but someone's writing like a thriller and someone else is writing like a fantasy novel and someone else is writing a romance novel, but the story still has to flow. So that
it has to flow. I mean, like, yeah, I've had that. I've had like a class, it started off like a murder mystery and then it became a really cheesy romance. And then, suddenly it became this like doom and gloom dystopian, I don't know what. And then and I mean, it's completely fine. I think really, I mean, this is what I like about this. It's just super flexible. And you can really mold it to suit your class, to suit, what kind of goals you have. So it works actually quite well.